Okay, for the pâté sucré dough or the tart dough, you're going to get your 2 ounces of sugar, then you're going to add your butter. Make sure it's softened. Add it into the bowl. And you could use a fork just to kind of mash it down and mix it up. Then go ahead and add your egg. You can do it in a separate container if you'd like. Make sure you don't get shells in it. And just mix this up. At this point, I'm going to go into the whisk. It should be soft enough so it should incorporate. Then I'm going to add some vanilla. Mix that in. Add your salt. And then finally you're going to add your flour to it. Just add that all in. Mix it up. And this should do it right here. And then you're going to place it into a tart pan here. We'll get this mixed in. So I'll put this right here. Work it with your hands slightly. This is a sweet, like a sweet cookie dough. Form it into a ball. You really don't want to add too much flour to it. And you can start it this way, at the very least, just to get it started. And you're going to get your tart pan, place it into the center, get the paper if you want, press down. This is going to be very helpful, your little wax paper or your parchment paper, just to help it along the way, because it is very oily. And see, this kind of helps you get it going. Hand this way if you want, or you may use your cup just like this. So you get that nice, beautiful, even. You want that to be nice and even here. And then we're going to eventually just take off the excess as well. So just work that in with your parchment paper. Okay. And then finally, just check it. What I like to do is I like to actually get a rolling pin and roll it off. See? And then you might still need to do a little more along the sides. It is good to get those sides sort of thick, okay? So work the edges one more time, just slightly. It's okay if it's a little bit higher, that's okay. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. And you are going to dock it. And so what I mean by docking is you're going to get a fork. Okay, so then you're going to dock it. And that means just placing some holes in it, because this is going to want to rise. We are still going to weight it down too. We're going to actually do what they call a blind bake, where we're going to get some parchment paper and some rice or some beans, some kind of weight to keep it from from actually rising, just like that. We're going to get some parchment paper and place some rice or some beans just to weight it down. Some rice there. We're going to place it in a 400-degree oven for roughly anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes. Then we're going to remove the parchment paper and rice, and then we're going to bake it an additional 5 to 8 minutes so that we can cook the center. Okay, and then you'll want to go ahead and place it in a pan just so that it'd be easier to to take out of the oven, okay? Because you have a bottom half of it that's going to come up, and you'll see what I'm referring to when you actually remove it from when you remove this from the pie. Okay, after you blind bake it, then you're going to remove the parchment paper, and then you're going to place it right back in. Make sure you don't get any of your rice in there, and see how it starts to want to rise. So again, we want to make sure we cook the middle of this. The edges are cooked pretty well. And then all we want to do is cook the center, so we're going to go anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes back into the oven. Okay, in this bowl I have 1.5 cups of heavy cream. We're going to add to this pudding mix instant vanilla pudding. This is going to make us our faux pastry cream. Okay, this works really well. Okay, make sure that you put the liquid on the bottom and not the pudding first. Okay, this way it'll help incorporate it. Then I've got 1.5 cups of milk. And what the cream is going to do is actually give it that little lightness that you need, that fluffiness. You can do this in the stand-up mixer. I'm just doing it for demonstration purposes. Okay, once you got it to the right consistency and you're about right here, you're going to go ahead and refrigerate it. This is while your tart shell is in the oven, okay? And then go ahead and refrigerate it, and it'll firm up nicely. Okay, after about 15 minutes, this is what it looks like. So it holds up really nice, and you'll probably have a little extra that you can use to eat, but this is after 10 minutes. It'll actually get a little bit even more firmer. So we're going to also make a ganache if you choose, and you're going to layer your tart with that ganache. So with the ganache, it's basically 2-to-1 ratio. If I go 1/4 cup of cream, I'm going to go 1/2 cup of chocolate. And this has been heated, so you're just going to basically mix this up. We're going to actually make a batch so that you guys can just get from that batch, so you won't have to make it. But this is really good on a cake. You can frost a cake with it, do all kinds of things with this. You're going to brush it onto your tart shell. So just get a little of the chocolate and just brush it on. It's okay, you can do it right after when you get it out of the oven, and this will give it a little extra flavor here. And then you're going to refrigerate this. While you refrigerate it, you can go ahead and cut your fruit. Okay, after the chocolate cools and your crust, you're going to go ahead and add your pastry cream. Place it in the center. You want to kind of level it off right on the very top. So just go ahead and get that all in. Flatten it out. And then you're going to cut your fruit. So typically you want to have your fruit already cut and ready to go. So you can do that while it's cooling in the fridge. And again, it's only going to cool down to get that chocolate roughly about 10 minutes. Okay, with the first layer, we're going to go ahead and put mandarin oranges. You can do this in any order you'd like. Just try to be nice and neat. This way it looks much better. It looks even. You even want to get probably about the same size on all of these. And on this one you can set it in just like so. Okay, so you got your first layer. Next one, I'm going to go ahead and add blueberries again, or blackberries. Make sure you wash your fruit. So we're just going to go all the way around. If you can, try to get the most even sized ones, making sure that they look nice and clean and no mold or any kind of blemishes on them. And we have that one. So we got two right there. And I'm going to show you guys how to, you guys will have kiwi. I'm going to show you guys how to cut it properly. It's a spoon method. So you're going to cut a little end, just like this. You're going to do is you're going to place the spoon on the larger side into the kiwi, and you're going to turn around the perimeter. You're just going to fill that spoon along with your hand, and you should have a nice clean cut. As you can see here, we got a nice clean cut, and the spoon method works really well. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go ahead and cut it in half, and then you do want to be consistent with your cuts, so all about the same size. Then you're going to place your kiwi. If you can, keep them in order. And here's where it gets really nice, because you want to overlap these. So keep them overlapped. They'll look much nicer. Kind of has a fan effect. And then I'll show you what you do on the last one, because you're going to have to kind of go over and under. Okay, so here's where we get to the last one. So what you want to do is you want to open up this one, place it underneath, and then you've got an overlap. Just use your knife, straighten it out. So you got this next layer. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and do some strawberries. We do have leftover kiwi, we can probably use those. We've got leftover mandarin oranges we can use. I've got our strawberries here. Again, you want to make sure on these strawberries that you generally get the same size. You don't want to get large ones. You want to be consistent with how it looks. And again, you can make sure this is nice and in order. Okay, for the strawberries, again, make sure they're cleaned. Take out the stems like this. So run your paring knife in the center, go around the perimeter, and pull it out. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut them like this. I'm going to use mainly the centers, but again, however you want to do it, it's your decision. So maybe you get about 3 of them. Not using the ends, again, you can eat those. So I'm going to go this way. So again, using that same technique. So lift the one in front, place it underneath, and you've got a nice shingle. Okay, and then the center, again, whatever you want to use. I'm going to go ahead and use the blackberries in the center, just like so, going all the way around. Should be able to get these right in here, and then one in the center, and then at this point now you've got your fruit tart. And then the final thing you need to do is go ahead and place your simple syrup on top, and then you'll have a nice presentable dish. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to show you, we're going to remove this. So you've got a little pan underneath here. So that's why it's important that when you guys do this, put it in a pan when you go into the oven, so then when you remove it, it doesn't fall off. Okay, and then I have the simple syrup, which is basically sugar and water. So again, just place it on, and you just want to pat it just like this. and you get a beautiful, shiny presentation. And there you go, you got your fruit tart.